Okay, next thing up, I will say, I mentioned this inflation data that we got. We got a whole bunch of data. Core consumer prices rising less than expected. Good news. Inflation remains tame. So 2.7%, which is not overall, which is fine. I mean, but there's some real bright spots here. So one thing that's interesting, appliances fell. So the reason why I go to appliances first, because appliances was something that we were told flat out, this was going to be one of the things that was going to for sure go up due to the tariffs. But in December, appliances fell even after adjustment for holiday discounts compared with a year ago. So they were down 1.7% from a year ago, which was way better than expectations, considering the expectations were the tariffs would cause it to go up. Clothing prices were up, but only slightly. Another one where we were told that this was going to balloon thanks to the tariff. The tariffs are going to make it so that no one could afford to clothe themselves or their family because we import all of these clothes from overseas. So many of them are made in some of the countries that countries like China that make a lot of the Nike products, stuff like that. You guys know. And clothing prices only rose 0.6% after adjusting for the holidays. And this is again, not a bad number. Index for rent was up 0.3%. We'd like that lower, but it really is not bad. It's really not a bad number. And one thing that's noteworthy, we have a big story up on Breitbart.com today on this. Trump has won on affordability for rent specifically due to deportations. So everyone is correlating, people in the know, the analysts are correlating the fact that we are doing deportations, that people are not flooding the country, immigrants are not flooding the country unchecked, and that people are getting deported is actually driving down rent prices. And if you don't think that people who just get here are competing for rent, there's no rule that a one-bedroom apartment is occupied by one or two people. There's no rule that a two-bedroom apartment is 3 or 4 people in it. Quite often, the immigrant families, illegal immigrant families, they will come in, they will move many people into a smaller unit, and thus competing with people who were native born and were here and are just trying to abide by the rules here. So this has been a big win for the Trump administration, that rent has in such a good spot, almost no inflation at all. And I think that number could come down if Scott Bessent is to be believed. Food inflation did go up. And food inflation going up, I think, is mostly due to the beef industry. And that's probably worth a deeper dive on the show, why beef prices are up so much. But that's a lot of what's going on in the food industry. We want food to be affordable. Any of you have been to a grocery store? And I go to grocery stores quite frequently. I'm the grocery store shopper in the family. And food prices are high. Egg prices, though, by the way, are down a little bit, which is kind of awesome, because remember, that was the one at the start of the year that the Democrats said, we're focusing on the eggs, and the eggs prices are so high, it's all Trump's fault. Well, it really is sort of the beef industry, and a lot of the beef industry is imported stuff. So that's a more complicated thing that we can delve into. But overall, these numbers are pretty good. And again, it is a huge dunk on all of the people who suggested that the tariffs were going to make it so that life is unaffordable for Americans. Because when you're seeing the experts repeatedly, over and over again, I say this over and over again, they never underestimate. They always overestimate the inflation, and that's what they did here. It's tame, but as Scott Bessent said on my podcast at the end of last year, he said he's anticipating inflation going to very close to zero. President Trump is laying out a huge slate of ideas to make life more affordable for Americans. I will be rolling through some of those with you on the show, both today and in the future. We've had tons of reporting on this at Breitbart News, but he understands this. Just like how so much of his national security foreign policy, everything he does can be connected to China in some way. Everything he does when it comes to his domestic policy this year, watch for it, is going to be related to affordability. Everything President Trump wants to do is to try to drive down those prices for you. That's his goal. He won't always succeed, but he's going to have a lot of great ideas. We're going to have a lot of great debates about it.